Welcome to Trump Breaking News Network, your daily source for up-to-date news on the political scene of Donald Trump, his presidency, American politics and conspiracies. Please subscribe to receive notice of our daily updates. Also share with your friends and your social media. We encourage you to like our videos and give your comments.
This is TBNN.
It's 2018, and Donald Trump is still winning. Well, folks, 2017 was one for the political books, where President Donald Trump continued to live rent-free in the minuscule minds of liberals everywhere. It was a year that started off with various women's marches around the globe. Shrewish feminists took to the streets wearing foam vaginas, screeching about bloody sheets and blowing up the White House, all the while living in fear of being rounded up and forced to give birth to unwanted fetuses. And of course, the year of the Womyn ended with those same feminists. Nasty woman Ashley Judd comes to mind, among many #Me Too others, hanging their heads in shame at the decidedly anti-feminist behavior they had excused among their progressive dear leaders and power brokers since time immemorial. A year that started off with Democrats mocking Trump over his contention that the nefarious Obama administration had wiretapped Trump Tower ended with almost universal understanding that this is exactly what happened, and far worse. In fact, it's now obvious even to the most illiterate, heavily sedated or stoned Democrats among us that the phony, DNC/Clinton/Obama bought and paid for Fusion GPS Trump dossier was the sole excuse the compromised FBI and Obama Department of Justice used to spy on Team Trump in the first place. It was a year that began with Democrats promising resistance in every obnoxious way possible. The "Not My President and Coexist" bumper sticker crowd assumed the impeachment of Trump was simply a prostitute's testimony away as soon as it was proven that he somehow rigged the 2016 election with Vladimir Putin. The collusion nothing burger gnashing of teeth ended with a monumental collapse. Instead of the Trump-Russia investigation proving Trump collusion, it's now ensnaring many Democrats. In fact, Democrats' corrupt and fevered imperative to remove a duly elected president is now being exposed daily. There's so much conflict of interest with Robert Mueller and the Clinton cronies he has assembled in his farce of a special prosecution it will be amazing to watch this debacle collapse. Yes, 2017 was a remarkable year. And in 2018, instead of resolutions, I will elaborate on my most heartfelt political wishes. They are simple, brief, and, as always, 100% correct. Number 1, build that wall. No more pussyfooting around, no more nonsense about DACA dreamers. No more waxing poetic about how illegal immigrants have more rights than American citizens, and are by default more important than citizens. No. Immigration was a top if not the major reason Donald Trump was elected. Between 60 and 80% of Americans support a radical shakeup of legal immigration in favor of a merit-based system with no chain migration, and a complete end to illegal immigration. Building a wall worked in Israel, it works on the southern border of Mexico, and by golly, it will work here. GOP, gird your loins. Republicans who stand in the way of a border wall will be soundly defeated in the 2018 midterm elections. Number 2. The Trump-Russia nonsense should immediately end and instead morph into an actual investigation into Uranium-1, Fusion GPS, DNC corruption, the murder of Seth Rich and the Obama administration's meddling in our election. We also need to finally get to the bottom of how and why Hillary Clinton was selling access to the State Department and destroyed evidence after a subpoena was issued by the FBI, among myriad other issues. It bears repeating, at some point, the Clintons' bargain with Satan must come to an end. Number 3, we must accelerate the denial of American taxpayer money to regimes, mostly nut-job, Sharia law Muslim in nature, which actively seek our destruction or the destruction of Israel. Trump just yanked almost $300 million from Pakistan, and is now threatening to do the same with the terrorists in the Palestinian Authority. More of this. It was a thing of beauty to watch United Nations Ambassador Nikki Haley assert that the United States would be taking names of those who abstained or voted against us acknowledging Jerusalem as Israel's capital. Normal Iranian citizens not content with living in the 7th century are currently risking their lives to wrest away some freedom from the radical Muslim psychotics who have held that country captive since 1979. Of course, liberals are alarmed that Donald Trump would dare side with the Iranian people. After all, their hero Barack Obama cozied up to the Iranian mullahs during the Green Revolution, gave $150 billion and allowed their regime to acquire nuclear weapons, and spent $400 million in exchange for hostages. Yeah, leftists aren't really friends of the Iranian people. Trump is winning, and contrary to what he claimed, I'm not sick of it yet. The economy will continue to boom as the massive corporate and individual tax cuts are implemented, energy independence will be realized, the wall will get built, and American leadership around the world will continue to be re-established. Recalcitrant Republicans will soon realize that not only is Donald Trump winning, but that the American people support him far more than they support the Republicans in Congress. If they are smart, they will use his blueprint for success as their own. If they don't, they will lose. My fellow patriots, stay the course, kick some butt, and in the immortal words of Winston Churchill, never ever, ever give up. Angela Box is a former teacher, devoted to the Constitution and conservatism and proud to live in Texas. A version of this article originally appeared on her blog, angelasowipbox.com. The views expressed in this opinion article are solely those of their author and are not necessarily either shared or endorsed by the owners of this website. What do you think? Scroll down to comment below.
This has been the Trump Breaking News Network. Please subscribe and share to stay up to date on the latest news about our president. Be informed.